All right, so we have a variety of different options that we can add to our email. You thought we had enough already. We've got a few more to look at here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new email, just like that. And the first thing I want to show you is looking at the options here. There is a selection towards the middle here called Request a Delivery Receipt, and I've got the default set on this, so it's always on, but normally you would not see that turned on. And what this allows us to do is, if you go with the Request Delivery Receipt, when you send this email out, or when I do, to whoever I'm sending it to, I will get a confirmation back that says that it was delivered. Not necessarily that it was opened by the recipient, but it was delivered to their server. You know how it is sometimes you send an email out, and it's an important one, and maybe even you put in the email message, let me know when you got this, you know. And it's like, it's so convenient, and it might just not sound right. So instead what you do is you send the email out, you put this delivery receipt on it, and then within not even 30 seconds usually, it'll pop back confirming that it was delivered to their server. So that's pretty cool. The other one isn't that great, because this one, which is called the Request a Read Receipt, this is supposed to send back a receipt, back to you when the recipient has actually opened and read the email message. Now the problem is that when the recipient receives an email that has this request on it, a little window will pop up saying something like, Chip Rose is requesting a read receipt. In other words, wants to know when you open this thing up. Would you like him to know? And of course, most people will just answer no to the box, and therefore I won't get any kind of a read receipt. So it's one of those things where it just doesn't really make a lot of sense using. But I will tell you that this one here with the read receipt, that works out, or I'm sorry, with the delivery receipt, that's a great little deal there. Okay, so now, the other thing we have here is the level of sensitivity. Now, if we go back over to the message tab, you'll notice on here we have high importance and we've got low importance. So if this happens to be an important message you feel that you're sending out, you put this in there, and what happens is, I don't know if I've got any on here or not, but what will happen on their end when they get the email, there'll be like a little red exclamation mark off to the side, just like what you see there, kind of alerting them to the fact that, hey, this is kind of an important email. So you don't want to overuse it. You want to use it when it's absolutely necessary. Of course, you can go ahead and say this is of low importance. That's going to be really good. But sometimes you'll do that, just so that you're not inconveniencing people. If they're getting a lot of email all the time, and if they get an email message from you, it's just one more on their pile. And if you can put a little marker that says, hey, don't worry about this, read it when you can, that's a good thing to put in there. All right, so we've got that. Oh, and then let me get back to that. Sorry about that. All right, so another aspect we have here, if you go back into the options here, we have something called direct replies to. Now this is kind of interesting, because you click onto that, your name is going to be in there, okay? Now I'm going to delete it, all right, and explain what's happening here. So if I do this, where I say have replies sent to, and I go back in here and I select names and I say, okay, I'm going to go with student B. That's our favorite one there. So I'll do that, hit OK, and then I'll click on my name and delete that. Now what that is going to do for us is that when we send this email out to whoever the recipients are, when they go to reply to it, it's actually going to be sent, but when they hit the reply, the address that they're going to be replying to isn't going to be mine, it'll be student B. So this is great when you are sending maybe out an email on behalf of maybe somebody else, or you're just sending out an email whose responses you want to be directed to somebody else, maybe somebody on your team that's going to handle all the responses. So it's kind of an interesting aspect there to have that. All right, so that's how that one works. And of course, then you go ahead and hit close, and that'll take you back to here again. Now, the other one we've got here is called delayed delivery. All right, now you click onto that one. What that does for us is that over here where it says do not deliver before, you specify a date. So let's say we go and I go and I put Friday, and I put 5 p.m. Or actually, I'll tell you what, we'll do Friday at, let's say 8 o'clock. What happens then, you send the email out, but instead of it going out to them immediately, it will stay in your outbox until that date and time, and then when that date and time happen, then it sends it out. It leaves the outbox. Now, another situation would be if you're going to be sending out this email, and let's just say it's time sensitive. In other words, if it's read by, or let's say you put an expiration of, let's say, like this is on 3/22, so let's just say, we'll say expires after, and we'll say maybe the 25th. What happens is that it'll get delivered, at on 3/22, after 8 o'clock. It'll show up on their inbox, obviously. But what will happen is that when this date comes about, and after 5 p.m. on this date, what will happen is at their end, when they're looking at the email on the screen, it'll have a strike through going through, like a line going through it all the way across. And that's letting them know that it's, that's expired, and it's not going to make any sense for them to reply to us because it's too late. We don't care now, So that's pretty cool. Now, one more little minor thing. You'll notice while we're in this screen too, we have a setting. We did the importance one before, but we also have a sensitivity one, okay? And this is where, click on there and say, oh, this is a private, or this is personal, or this is confidential, okay? That's all. Not a big deal there. So now we'll go ahead and hit close. All right, there we go. And then all you'd have to do is go in there and find, the people that you want to send this to. You put some sort of a subject line in there. Type that in. You'd have your message, whatever that happens to be. And then once you've done that, you go ahead and hit send, and off it goes. Now, where did it go? Well, if you look in your folder area, my outbox shows one new message in it, all right? Normally when you send an email out, it goes into the outbox, and then from there, it goes and gets sent out. It's almost like it goes to the post office, right? And then from there, it's sent out. All right, or better yet, I guess maybe it'd be almost like it goes into your little mailbox that you've got on the corner, and then the mailman picks it up. All right, and that's so right now it's just sitting in the mailbox on the corner. All right, so when is it going to go? When is it going to leave from there? Well, we had set that delivery date of Friday after 8 o'clock a.m. So that's when it's going to go out, and I can just click on there and I can actually see that message. There it is. All right, so pretty cool. And let me just go back to my inbox here now. So that's what we have so far. So I want to show you one more tool that we have, and it's called a voting ballot. And what it allows us to do is create a ballot with a single kind of question on it. And when you send it out to your recipients, they'll open it up, and they can actually then pick their choice. So it's almost like it'd be like a single question, and it might be something like, we're planning on having a company picnic sometime in the summer, okay? Would you prefer it to be in June, July, or August, all right? And they can vote, one of the three. And then what happens is, at your end, you're going to get a little tally, a little tracking tally, and you can actually see who voted what, and you can see how many voted for June, how many voted for July, how many voted for August, kind of thing. All right? Okay, so let's go and actually create one of these. So I'm going to go back to the new email, all right? Go up into my options, all right? And then I've got the voting buttons here, so I'll click onto that. It has some preset ones in here, but I want to get a little bit more detailed here. So I'm going to click on the custom. It's going to bring me back to my usual window that we were looking at before. And here is where we're going to put each of the different choices. So right now, it just has approve and reject. Now notice that there's a semicolon separating that. So that's how we're going to get two different buttons, either approve or reject. Now what we're going to do instead is we're going to put the choices. Now in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to ask them where would they like to have the annual company meeting, okay? And we're going to give them some choices, and then they can then vote on those choices. So the first choice is going to be Chicago. Okay, and now I just almost made a mistake there. So Chicago, and then we're going to put a semicolon in there, right? All right, the second choice is going to be Detroit, semicolon. The third one is going to be Grafton, semicolon. Next one's going to be Tampa, semicolon. And we'll get one more choice, and that's going to be Lahaina, Maui. All right. Oh, I got spelled that one wrong. Okay, and then I'll just put in there Maui. Okay, so that's it. So once you've done that, you close it up. It says we've added voting buttons. Now I'm going to direct this to some students. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a number of employees here. There they are. Hit 2. And then hit OK. There we go on that. The subject is vote on company meeting event. All right. And then go down into the body there and say, please vote on your preference, or something like that. All right. All right. Sorry about that. If I hit the mouse the wrong way, I lose the screen there. Okay. So that's it. And that's all you have to do. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to send this off on its way. There we go. Now, as you'll see here, it's being delivered. So the 5 recipients have received the email. All right. So as you can see now, I've got a response from student B. I actually got on my other computer and responded, right? And I can go ahead and open that up and see that student B voted Lahaina. Now, you can imagine if you sent this out to 100 people, 200 people, and they're all responding at different times, you're not going to be able to collect in your head, you know, all the responses. I mean, I suppose you could maybe sort it by subject and get something like that, but it's still not going to be good because you're going to have different first parts here, so they're going to be scattered all over anyway in groups. So how do you eventually see what the tallies are and who voted what? All right. Well, what you do is you go back to the sent items. All right, folder there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to find the email that we sent out, and that's going to be this one right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and double click it, just like that. And then what you're going to see on this, which is pretty cool, is up here you've got the message here, but then we've got a little button here called tracking. Not bad. You click on the tracking, and what happens is it shows all of our employees, let's say, right? It was delivered this time, and so far student B has responded, you know, with Maui, right? And up here it's going to show a tally. It's going to say the totals are, Maui's one, Chicago, whatever, Detroit, whatever, Grafton, whatever, Tampa, whatever, okay? And you're going to see those numbers. I think that's a pretty cool thing there. So, not bad. Now, what are we going to do, or what actually happened at that end? How did they vote, when they got it? See, because we couldn't see it from this end. Now, what I just got done doing is I went to student B's computer and I created a voting button email, and I sent it to myself along with some other people. And now I want you to see what it looks like when you are voting, all right? So all you do is you go, and here's the message, please vote. Double click it. This opens up. And then at the top here, because you've put in the message, please vote. Oh, I keep on doing that. So you got please vote. So they're going to say, oh, okay. They'll look up at the top here. There's the vote. And you click onto that, and there you go. Look at that. June, July, August. So we're talking about when we'd like the company picnic to be held. And we've got June, July, August. And of course, we've got in December in Maui. So we pick that. We hit OK. And that's it. And then student B will get a message that will look just like what we had before. And then of course they will go there, sent items folder, open up that sent email, copy of that message, and they will see the tally on their side. Now I just forwarded the sent item from from student B, and I sent it over here so we can actually see what it looks like. So I'll open that up, and there's the vote. Oh, it's got the vote in there, so it's not letting me do that. Okay, so anyway, it would look just like we saw on our side here. So hopefully that feature can come in handy for some of the questions you might have, or you want to just kind of get an idea of people's ideas of when they want to do stuff or any other kind of an opinion. You're kind of limited to just one question, but you can send them out as many as you want and get the overall consensus of a number of different areas. So appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully you got something out of it. So take care. Appreciate it.